Hi, welcome back to my channel and my kitchen. It's a mess, but so am I, but that's okay. I figured I'm gonna show up. I need to show up just however I am because I need to show up for myself and for everybody here. So, hi. Um, Lots been going on. So I don't know. I was just yeah, let's just start with, when you get that surprise phone call when somebody is in the hospital and you're like, what? And it's like watching myself go through it. I was a little bit, I was like, I was watching how I was reacting, how like my stomach was like, ooh, like grinding. And I felt like, why am I not feeling feelings? Like other than like, no, this isn't happening. Or like, like it kind of like takes the reality like of you scrolling or thinking about what you're going to do for your day, like what you're going to have for breakfast, or like you're petting your cat or your animal, or like, okay, we're going to have steak for dinner, so make sure I take the steak out, like all those regular things that you do, mindful things. And then you get that call. Someone, like, say for instance it's your sister, so, or a family member, right? So and you're like, what? So, like, it almost feels like trying to explain the feeling, because the memory of the feeling I'm able to process better than the actual hit of it. Maybe because that's the way I process. So it's like trying to be aware of how I process is just something that I do. I don't know if you do, or if you can relate to that. How you're like, how come I'm not like sad or scared or fearful? I mean, outwardly. But it showed in the way that I was uh, acting or responding to uh, my kids that live with me. And we're going to go to the hospital. So, and I was short. Like I became like, I don't know, don't do that. Like I was very snap, 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 like to cut off all the edges, maybe, and to just let's do what we need to do. And then in the middle of that, I'm apologizing. I'm sorry I'm acting this way. I don't understand why I'm doing that. I must be upset. Like being able to like pull or look, and instead of being this all-knowing plus, like it's gonna be okay. Like, oh, look, let's flip. Come on, guys. Like I don't have that cheerful demeanor. I don't think like, oh, lovely. Like I guess I imagine that. I don't know anybody who does other than somebody in a movie, but that's anyway, I'm talking a lot about it, but I just wanted to say I was aware of it. And then I was aware of like I wasn't like I hadn't really, I had like a meal earlier, but I wasn't hungry for the rest of the day because we spent quite a few hours at the hospital. I just wanted to be there and hear what like the doctor or the nurse were saying. I wanted to read the, the blood work and just be like on it like a sergeant, I guess, like what's going on? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? What did they see? What did they say? Because on the other hand, you have the emotions that were flowing around from my family member who was like crying already, um, like writing their will and saying, isn't this how to look at a new perspective in life? How, because they were told it could be the C word, answer with the C. All right, answer with the C. And but it just I'm gonna tell you about it because I have had that in my daughter. She had answer with the C. Back when she was 9, she's now 22 and doing well. But we're all like, okay, we got this. Let's hear, So I was in there. I was like, did they do the full blood work? What did they actually say? Like, what are they checking? I'm like, well, at least you're in the hospital and they think that they may see it. This might be what it is. So and they have to do the protocol. They have to say it's possibly this in order for them to keep you, in order for them to do all these tests, to order the full blood, to do all this stuff so that they can check, check. So, yeah, I'm like out of breath. Not just because I have extra, 40 pounds on me, but it's like, yeah, I'm just like going through it. Like, isn't that funny how memories, you start feeling the feelings that maybe you weren't aware of feeling? I was not aware because I was like, I'm not feeling stuff. Like, I feel, but I obviously was because I was responding poorly to my kids. And they're like, we understand, Mom. You must be under stress and we're going to be there. We're here, and we're all nervous. We're all like responding to the possible news of a terrible diagnosis. We're like just going through the motions. And, but, throughout the night that we were there, um, like starting to have the good news, like the blood work came back, even though they saw spots on the liver, right? The news of the blood, everything was great. There's no elevated white blood cell. There's no protein, extra protein in the places where it doesn't need to be, very layman termy. But I understood like, okay, good. Even though, yeah, it's good that it's not there, that it's not seen, but then what is it? Why is there pain? Why did they see those spots? Why don't we know what it is? And that isn't that always the thing? Isn't that always the thing? Like we want to know why. We want to know the why. And then what? Is it better to get the diagnosis of the answer with the C or to not get it and still wonder what the heck is the matter with you? I thought, isn't that interesting? Yeah. But it's something to think about, something to ponder for myself because I am not my family member who's going through this. She'll process how she processes. Is this going to be enough for her to stop vaping? Is this enough shake or knock on the door to get her to stop drinking or doing whatever she's doing that's causing possible answers with C? Is it? Everyone goes through what they go through. And that's one of the lessons that I had. I had a reading with one of my friends. We just have like this uh, a meeting. I just meet a friend who's in AA right now, and we just meet for coffee once a week. And um, one of the like there was on the app, it was the theme of the day for the reading was to not judge others who go back out. And I'm like, yeah, that's hard, isn't it? It's hard. But it's something to practice and to remember that everyone has to go through what they go through. And some people heal and continue on a journey and reflect, and some people don't at all. And some people do what they do. Everyone has the autonomy and the right to do what they do without me or anyone else judging how you have your journey. So that's something. So I wanted to show you, I'm going to read a prayer for today 12-step prayer book, but I want you to see what's been going on with my cats. And so, yes, my prayer book must be tasty or satisfying in some way to my cat Lilac. So anyhow, so let me read. I'm reading this on uh, December 21st. So this is page 88, number 120. Let's see what we got. Can you relate to anything I'm talking about? Have any like people in your life that go through stuff like that? So anyway, oh, I should say, so she doesn't have answer with the C today. And because all of her blood came out really good. And now she's just in the hospital still. So all day yesterday from 11 till now, and then all day today because you got to wait for the doctor. It's a lot of sitting and waiting. So she gets to at least, watch TV, sit in the bed, use the Wi-Fi, have people visit her and bring her food and dote on her. I guess that maybe it's good rest and annoyances. So you can say, "Where's my pillowcase?" Or, "Oh, when is the doctor going to come?" Or, "Oh, you know, I'm not satisfied with that answer. I'm going to go to Cleveland Clinic anyhow. I'm going to make sure." I mean, you do you. Everyone does themselves, but at least she's getting the MRIs and all the tests, right? All the tests you can get with the steps that the healthcare system will allow, right? So anyway, the room was really nice, and it was nice to visit with my sister and family member, and so and my niece and her partner, and yeah, everybody. Anyway, all right. So let's read the prayer. It says, "I didn't have time, so I got up early one morning and rushed right into the day. I had so much to accomplish that I didn't have time to pray." Okay. So the problems just tumbled about me, and heavier came each task. Why doesn't God help me? I wondered. He answered, "You didn't ask." I wanted to see joy and beauty, but the day toiled on, gray and bleak. I wondered why God didn't show me. He said, "But you didn't seek." I tried to come into God's presence. I used all my keys and the lock. So God gently and lovingly chided, "My child, you didn't know." So I woke up early this morning and paused before entering the day. I had so much to accomplish that I had to take time to pray. God grant us serenity to accept things we can't change, to have courage to change things we can, and wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not mine, be done. Yeah, and these little pieces of paper my cat finds. Radical acceptance to gracious realities. Radical acceptance to gracious realities. That's what it used to say. Littese. Right. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how long this is, but I hope you have a happy day. And even if you can't, you don't, or you don't think you did, you can just slightly think back to the day before, and like think about it. Like, how can I be grateful for it? I'm grateful for it. And it's okay if you don't feel or have that concept of feeling. At least like me, I'm very rational, so I'm trying to understand my feelings, so therefore I can at least observe them, or maybe I am feeling them, but I'm expecting some magical thing that I think feelings are. So anyhow, blah 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 blah. All right, so I love you, and I will talk to you ASAP. Okay, love you.